Oh, bacchanal. On the road is bacchanal. On the stage is bacchanal. Jumping up is bacchanal. 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 In the vet is...
I'm 9 years old and awestruck. It's Carnival, and Peter Minshall's Democrats, bureaucrats, technocrats, aristocrats are dancing behind the DJ truck like it's the Pied Piper. Who knew that a little over a decade later, I'd be working in Minshall's production house, making costumes, digitizing his collection, preparing slides for his lectures, and even contributing costume design ideas for one of his bands, Red. Peter Minshall showed me how to marry creative expression and social purpose in joyful resistance. Fast forward to my BSc in management at the University of the West Indies because my parents refused to pay for an art degree. Something about struggling artists. An assignment in a marketing module saw me dreaming up a hypothetical business called Your Wish is My Command. It was an art department store that would carry and create designs to fit a variety of styles and personalities. Years later, when I left advertising, frustrated with its gross misuse of power and influence, I went back to that dream. And although I called the business Leigh, that Caribbean fairy was hard at work, creating handcrafted events, event literature, gifts, and greeting cards to make people feel good. I credit this first incarnation of Leigh with teaching me so much of my current practice. It was serious action research. A client refused to pay the fee at the end of a job. I learned to use contracts and non-refundable deposits from the next job. A client hated their finished work. I learned to create job briefs and get feedback at intervals as the commission progressed. Thing is, I realized pretty quick that clients always have an idea of what they want. They just can't always articulate it straight away. For weddings, I ended up devising something called the Best Friend Questionnaire. It gave me a sense of the client's preferences, styles, interest, background. If I could create an accurate picture of the people involved, then I could represent them visually in a way that would resonate with them. That questionnaire worked a treat and led to some events that clients still rave about decades later. Somewhere in there, a day trip experience showed me that all the talent in the world was useless without self-worth or confidence. This is what really made me understand the value of the creative process, not just the result. Catharsis through art healed me. So it's no surprise that when I got to Central St. Martin's, I used my MA in Design Studies, now Applied Imagination, to create B, a confidence-building system. Part game, part life coach in a box, part reflective diary. The design was prototyped and tested, and the research, reflective journal, and exhibits for the MA exhibition earned me a distinction and even garnered interest from investors. But that MA exhibition also rendered my intellectual property null and void. No protection, no investment. I won't lie, I was devastated. B was another painful lesson. It's one of the major reasons I decided to do this exhibition as a PhD. I feel this is the safest way to put my art out there for testing, feedback, collaboration, funding, and still protect my intellectual property. My first life story art piece was a happy accident. I had no money to buy a present for my best friend, and she just returned from Australia with this fabulous book about symbolism in Aboriginal art, which I knew she loves. I had a brand new cream large lampshade still in its IKEA packaging. So I wrote this story of how we met and became friends in words. Then I drew it in symbols, and then I put the symbols together to create the visual story. And then I painted them on the lamp. This way of working is now the crux of my current life story art process. I write the brief after interviewing the client. They read and agree to the information in the brief. That brief then it becomes the Bible that informs the design. Anyway, back to Katrina's lamp. That gift brought her so much joy that I decided to make more. Pulling from my Caribbean fairy days, I began incorporating favorite things, joyful elements from a person's past, places they excelled, challenges they overcame.
From your wake up this morning, you's a winner. Yeah. From your wake up this morning, you's a winner. Yeah.
Now, library art is grounded in self-efficacy. The artwork acts as a daily visual reminder of how great you've been. So, look how amazing you could be again. When given as a gift, my client tells the story of this person they love and respect so much they want to commission a piece of art about them. And that definitely influences the content of the artwork. And suddenly I'm lining up with Albert Bandura. Mastery experiences and social persuasion are coming together in art to build self-efficacy. And I could use my life story art process to do social commentary, to recount community history, to promote diverse stories. And after 5 years of being a stay-at-home mum who paints, I got invited to show my work at Carnival Expo at the Oval in London. I was ready to climb out of the motherhood trench and return to me, but 2016 hit hard.
If a man is born in luxury, they prove to me through history, he is somebody. But if a man is born in poverty, starvation and misery, he is nobody. Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody.
An exhibition of 9 paintings about stories from 9 groups of people whose lives don't seem to matter. I wanted Some Lives Matter to stir up the compassion and humanity we seem to be lacking. Given my research-based approach to painting, I would need to troll through massive amounts of painful data to do each group justice. And I know myself, I am too empathic. I would need years of therapy between each painting if I pursued that. So, imagine the girl who dreamed up her first solo UK exhibition, produced it, sold 3/4 of it in just 12 months. Took 4 years to get Some Lives Matter moving. Stagnancy is what led me to the PG cert, specializing in inclusive practice and researching social change curation. I figured if I didn't know where to start, then the research skills, the networks, the opportunity to learn how to teach through art, all of that could help jumpstart me. I explored those groups I wanted to represent and saw my role as both oppressor and oppressed. I got comfortable with my discomfort. And I interviewed curators specializing in social change, and from them, I distilled a process and a manifesto for curating social change, which I'll be using when I produce this exhibition. It wasn't until summer 2020, during a Chopra meditation challenge, that I worked out why I was stuck. Some Lives Matter was not congruent with who I am. The thing that energizes me, my purpose, my goal has always been to bring joy. So I still wanted to generate compassion through creativity, but I needed to approach this from a point of joy and love, not pain and fear. So say hello to Carnival, Compassion, and Art for Social Change. Honestly, I can't wait to start. In fact, I've already interviewed a Trinidadian psychologist about that moment of one love and euphoria in Carnival. What triggers it, what happens to our bodies during it, whether there's a series of events that happen prior to or after it. Man, this is going to be such exciting work.
Hey, let's have a party. A Caribbean party. The entire region together in one big splashdown fiesta. A Caribbean, a regional vibration. I say we jamming to the songs of the Caribbean, we grooving.